so we've just watched the trailer for Jasmine. Narrative first of all then. Characters and events clear. Anyone want to start us off? Go for it, Neve.
We can clearly see that it's like a young girl who's not seen her dad and her dad's now after her.
Okay, so certainly stalking by a father. Yep.
From this short clip on my trailer, I already know that my audience is caught onto the fact that the father is now back in Jasmine's life and is stalking her. For me, this is successful.
Adam.
But it's not really clear why he's doing it. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't show like why she's.
So there's no exposition, backstory in terms of what the dad has done and why he's doing it. Yeah? Okay, good.
From this, I learned that some audience members did not gather why the father was after her. This is the part that I could have improved on. However, I was afraid of giving too much of the storyline away in the trailer. My aim was to keep it a slight mystery. The voiceovers towards the end of my trailer say she is not your baby. This connotes that Jasmine is not his daughter and suggests why he is after her. I could have made this clearer.
What about other characters that are in it? So we've got...
There's quite a lot that are all in similar ages that are meant to be different ages. So, like, my take on it was the dad was like a very similar age to the daughter. When you just have it in that age.
Yeah. Okay, so representation of ages and casting.
This tells me that my casting was unrealistic due to the similar ages of the characters. However, casting was difficult for me as my family were occasionally too busy to rely on. Finding people of a similar age made it more easier and more reliable for me.
To see her being stalked and finding that out. Good. Alright, genre.
I think it could be a
Thriller? Perhaps someone saying thriller?
psychological thing.
Psychological thriller.
Yeah.
There's certainly a degree of stalker to it as well in there. So stalker thriller, okay, so more of a hybrid. Yep.
I am happy to hear that my genre was successfully communicated to my audience, as this shows me that I mapped out my trailer successfully.
They added more to the story and about the father, because the father was in there for the first few scenes, so you didn't really get background.
So more of an equilibrium at the start and exposition.
I'm told here that I could have included more of an equilibrium stage within my trailer, which I agree with. However, I wanted to try and challenge Todorov's theory and conventions.
Hannah?
I think the editing was good to shed like the blink and everything, so you got a bit more.
The blink. We had everything else the strongest part of the trailer. Yeah, by far. Okay, I agree with that, certainly. So it's technically...
Here I am told that the strongest part of my trailer is the blink. I am happy with this response, as the aim was to have the montage implement the most suspense on my audience.
Nimi, what do you think that there's a clear sense of narrative?
Yeah, I'd say the narrative's quite clear. The protagonist, which is Jasmine, is like her father is coming back from prison or something, and he starts sending her letters to like scare her, and then she kind of tells her foster mum about it, and there's like a suspicion that she's involved with the letters, and then also there's like hints that the dad's not Jasmine's real dad, which could be maybe why he's like getting revenge or whatever.
From this, I now know I have successfully shown my narrative to my classmate. She has linked the letters to the father and justified him to be the stalker.
And Alicia, what did you like about the trailer?
I liked how it was quite memorable. It was left on a really nice cliffhanger, which makes you want to go and see it in the actual cinemas, like as to see like what happened to Jasmine.
This tells me that when Jasmine turns her head at the end, it is left on a successful cliffhanger which intrigues my audience to want to go into the cinemas and watch it.
Alice, how do you think each character is presented in a positive or a negative way?
I think the character of Jasmine is presented in a positive way, as she's the one that's getting threats and stuff from other people, but the other characters are presented in a negative way because they're kind of like doing it and manipulating her.
This tells me that I've successfully gotten the representation of my characters across to my audience. The use of the word manipulative perfectly describes the foster mum in my trailer.
do you think of the cover lines that I've used and the tagline underneath the title?
I think the cover lines are a little bit bold, and they almost take away from like how much the image stands out. I think maybe you could like lower the opacity so they fade more into the background, and also all the different fonts. I don't know. I think if you can use different fonts, they should be a little bit more like so you can tell a difference between them. And I think the tagline under the film title, I think you should do "He's Back" like how you did for your film poster, and I think that you should change the colour maybe because it doesn't really stand out as much as it should.
This showed me that my drafts of my magazine were slightly off point. I corrected the tagline by getting rid of it and also listened to Nimi's advice and made the cover lines more subtle so that they do not take away from the image.
Alicia, what do you think of the tagline at the top of the page?
I think it's quite small for the page. I think instead of "He's back," it should be "He is back," and maybe make it a lot bigger so it fills up the dead space around it.
Here I am told that my header is not big enough. Since then, I have made it bigger and listened to my audience feedback.
Okay. Nimi, what do you think of the prison I've incorporated into the background of the poster?
I think it gives some clues to the narrative. It's quite enigmatic, and also the fact that there's like a character like almost like behind it. It shows that like maybe he's like in prison or something.
By successfully implementing the prison into the background of my poster, I have received audience feedback that it connotes the father is just coming out of prison, which is exactly what I wanted to signify.
Nimi, what do you think of the billing blocks that I've used underneath my film title?
I think the font that you've used is like one that you'd actually see on a film poster or a film trailer, and the size is small enough in comparison to the heading and the tagline as well. So I think it's quite good. Maybe you could spread it out a little bit more.
Here I am told that my billing blocks could be spread out, and since then I have spread them out, which helped me to achieve a well-structured poster.